Good morning, children. Welcome back to our economics class. Today, you are going to learn about bank and credit creation by the commercial bank. So, this is from the unit. These two topics are from the unit money and banking. So, first of all, we will learn some important concepts in this lesson. So, for understanding the banking system, first we should know what is bank. A bank is a financial institution or monetary institution that performs two important functions. These are the functions like accepting deposits and granting loans. So any banks perform these two functions is called what banks. So in the banking system there are generally two types of bank, that is central bank and commercial bank. So central bank is at the apex of the banking system of a country because it regulates or controls all other banks in the country. So it is the bank of the government. In India, the central bank is RBI, Reserve Bank of India. So it deals with the government, not only with the government but also with the commercial bank, and does not deals with the public directly. Okay, and there are several banks which works under the guidelines and regulates provided by the central bank. So okay, there are several banks like PNP, Axis Bank, SBI, Oriental Bank, Banks of India, etc. So all these banks are commercial bank. They accept deposits from the public and give loans to the public. So whereas central bank deals only with the government and commercial bank, it does not directly deals with the public. And there is only one central bank, but there are several commercial banks in a country. Understood there. For now, we can deals with what is Reserve Bank. Central bank is owned and governed by the government. Its main aim is to promote social welfare. But whereas the main aim of commercial bank is profit maximization, it is owned by the government or private sector. Understood. There are several functions that central bank performs, and there are several other functions that commercial bank performs. We will do all the functions performed by the central bank in the next lecture. In this lecture, we will just look into the functions of commercial banks. So for now, you remember the commercial banks are the banks. It deals with the general public. It accept deposits and advance loans to the general, and it performs a very important function, that is credit creation. So here we can see what are commercial banks, and these are those financial or monetary institutions which perform the function of accepting deposits from the public and advancing loans to the public. And why these commercial bank advancing loans to the public? So that the general public can make some sort of investment. If you'll go in a bank and ask for loans for doing some charity, the bank won't give money or loan. The bank will give loans only for productive purpose. That is, the bank will give loans only for making investment, and you should repay, and you should have a repayable capacity. Only on those cases the banks provides you money. Okay, so that general public can do some sort of investment and earn some extra money. Okay, all right. So what is the main aim of bank? The main aim of the bank is to maximize profit. That is, profit maximization is the main aim of the bank. So banks will accept deposits from the banks and grant loans to the public in order to maximize profit. That's why they are giving loans only for productive purpose like investment. All right, they won't give loans for the purpose where it does not feel that you will give it back to the bank. All right, so if a question comes for you to define a commercial bank, I hope that you can easily define it. It is any monetary or financial institution which accepting deposits from the public and advancing loans to the public. Why? For making investment, so that the public can make investment. And why it is doing so? In order to earn maximum profit. And examples of commercial banks are PNP, Axis Bank, etc. Such question generally comes as 1 mark question. So remember this definition, right? So there is nothing sort of remembering it. You can just understand it and write as per your understanding. All right, so here you can see this is the commercial bank. It accept deposits from the public and granting loans to the public. There are two important terms in order to understand the credit creation of the commercial bank. I told you the three functions of commercial bank. The first function is accepting deposits from the public, and second function is granting loans to the public, and third important function is credit creation. So what is credit creation of commercial bank? For that you should understand two important terms. So what are they? Let's discuss. So when we deposit uh, surplus money with the bank, then that deposit is called primary deposit. So whatever people are depositing with the bank, they are called primary deposit. So if there is a person who wants loans from the bank and he has all other collateral and other requirements that the bank require for loan, so he has everything, but the bank will not directly give cash to that person. So what the bank will do, the bank will open an account in the name of that borrower, and the bank will transfer money to that account. So the transfer of money from bank to the account borrower is called secondary deposits, and the credit creation of secondary deposit is called credit creation, and it is called derivation of deposit. So there are two types of deposit: primary deposit and secondary deposit. So when we deposit our surplus money to the bank, it is called primary deposit. So when a bank grants loans, then instead of giving cash, they open an account in the name of the person who aspires to have loan. So the loan amount which is deposited or transferred by the bank to the account of borrower is called secondary deposit. So I hope that you have understood these two deposits. Okay, then. So when we deposit our surplus money with the bank, it is called primary deposit, and when the bank is depositing money to the account of person who wants loan is called secondary deposits, and creation of secondary deposit is called derivative deposits, and this process of credit creation derivative deposits called credit creation. So in order to know the credit creation in a better way, you should know the three concepts, that is cash reserve ratio, statutory liquid ratio, and legal reserve ratio. To see what is CRR is the fraction of total deposit that a commercial bank by law are required to keep with the central bank. Okay, so this is the central bank and these are commercial banks. Suppose if the total deposits in a commercial bank is rupees 100 in a day, so if the cash reserve is 20%, which is decided by the central bank of a country, and then every commercial bank have to keep 20% of their total deposits with the central bank. So in our example, 20% of 100 is 20 rupees. So 20 rupees they have to keep with to keep. So 20 rupees with the central bank, it is the legal requirement. So all the commercial bank have to keep 20% of their total deposits with the central bank. So cash reserve ratio is that part of total deposit that every commercial bank by law are required to keep with the central bank. Then the next concept is SLR, that is statutory liquidity ratio. See, the bank have to keep some liquid assets for themselves in order to meet their daily requirements. So SLR refers to the liquid asset that the commercial bank must hold with themselves on daily basis as a percentage of total deposits. So some people will come in order to take the funds deposits from the bank. So bank needs to keep the liquid cash in order to meet their daily requirements. So they cannot give all their deposits money as long the commercial bank have to keep a certain percentage of the deposits with the central bank and some percentage of the total deposits as liquid cash. Understood? So these two measures have to keep all commercial bank and remaining amount they can lend. So then what is legal reserve ratio? The legal reserve ratio is that fraction of deposits of commercial bank which is legally compulsory for the commercial bank to keep in the form of CRR and SLR. So that is called legal reserve ratio. So it is simply the fraction of deposits of commercial bank that is legally mandatory for them to keep aside in the form of CRR and SLR. So if a question is frequently asked in your exam, that is LRR is equal to CRR plus SLR. Is it true or false? It is false, because LRR is not only the sum of CRR and SLR. That is, at higher level you will know that LR is only measures. Measures is not only the measures of CRR and SLR. It is also contains other measures as well. And these two are only the measures of LR. And these two are not only the measures of LRR. So for the time being, we will consider only CRR and SLR. So for simplicity, we considered only LRR as CRR and SLR. Understood? So the two components of LRR are CRR and SLR. Understood? So CRR and SLR are legal reserve ratio. Understood? So then I think now you are in a position of understand the process of credit creation. So CRR with the central banks and SLR with the commercial bank. So legal reserve ratio is that fraction of deposits of commercial bank which is legally compulsory to keep with the central bank and with the commercial bank. So I think you are in a position to understand the process of credit creation. So get start with the process of credit creation by the commercial bank. So when a commercial bank receive deposit, keeps a part of it with the central bank and a part with itself. These are called legal reserves. So whenever a bank receive deposits, it keep a part of it with the central and a part with itself and lends the remaining cash to the public. So if a bank receives 100 crore as deposit, if cash reserve is 10% and statutory liquidity ratio is also 10%, so 10% of 100 it is 100 is 10 crore, and again 10% of SLR it is also 10 crore. So that is 10 plus 2, that is 20 crores. They have to keep as CRR and SLR. So 20 crores the bank have to keep as CRR and SLR, and the remaining 80 crores the bank can lend to the public. Okay. So they have to they have 10 crores as CRR with the central bank and 10 crores as SLR with the central bank itself. So this is called LRR. Understood? So when a commercial bank receives deposits, it keeps a part of it with the central bank and a part with itself, and these are called legal reserves. Then the money lends as deposits come back, right? So how it comes back to the central bank? So in order to make some sort of investment, all right, so the people who have received money will have that money as surplus amount. So again the deposits with the bank as the fresh deposits. So the money which the bank is lending is again coming back to the bank in the form of fresh deposits. Again the bank will keep a part of it with the central bank and part with the bank itself and lends the rest. Again, this money comes back to the bank and do the same thing. Understood? So it repeats the process again and again till the time when the sum of LRR is equal to initial deposits. Understood? So the sum of LRR is equal to initial deposits. Till that time the process will continues, right? That I will explain it through a numerical example. With for now you just remember that this process will continues, and this way the bank will give loan which is many a times the original deposits. The total creation will be 1 upon LRR. So let's understand this with the help of numerical example, then it will be more clear to you. Why I have written all these things for explaining credit creation. So for now, just remember that a bank is receiving a primary deposits of rupees 100. It will keep some CRR, for example, as cash reserve as 10%. Then it will keep rupees 10 with central bank, and statutory liquidity is 20%. Then it will keep 20 rupees with themselves, and the left out amount is 70, and it is the excess reserve. So the bank will deduct CRR 10% and XLR 20% from the total deposits and lend only 70 to the public, which is excess reserve. Understood? It only lend what? Only 70 to the public, which is excess reserve. So let's understand the credit creation with the help of a numerical examples. Suppose initially a bank receives rupees 1000 as deposits, and this is the initial primary deposits. So initially the bank is receiving rupees 1000, and suppose here the legal reserve ratio is 20. It is not CRR, it is LRR. It means that some part of its deposits have to keep with the central bank and some part with the commercial bank themselves. And then 20% of 1000 will be 200, so it has to keep 200 as LRR, and the left out amount is 800. It is the excess reserve. So 1000 minus 200 is equal to 800. So 800 is the initial excess reserve. Again, this 800 comes back to the bank in the form of fresh deposit, because what the bank is doing, the bank is opening an account in the name of that person who wants loans. So again, this 800 is coming to the bank. Okay, so 800 is coming to the bank in this way, as well as when the person who receiving this loan is using this amount for investment, that this money is going back to the account of those person to which the person who wants loan is making payment. Okay, so here this 800 will come back to the bank, and again it will keep 20% as legal reserve ratio. So 20% of 800 will be 160, and then the left amount will be 640. Again, this 640 will comes in the form of fresh deposits to the banks. How it 640 comes to the bank? Because a person who receives loans will use this money for investing or productive purpose. So let us take a simple example. Okay, if person is taking loan in order to make an hostel, right, to make for earning some money in the future. So for building that hostel, he needs various factors of production like labor, capital, and various other things like materials like cement, bricks, etc. So when he receives loans of rupees 640, he will make payments to the labor, he will make payments to the capital, and he will also make payment for materials, for everything. Understood? So, and you know that once spending is others income, and again 640 will again comes back to the account of those who are receiving this money, that is factor payment. This is the factor payment. So the person used the 640 money for making payments, and it will come back into the account of labor, capital owners, and in the account of material owners, etc. Isn't it? So it will come as fresh deposits with the bank. Again, it will keep 120 rupees as LRR, that is legal reserve ratio, that is 20% of primary deposit. 20% of 640 is 120, and it is kept as LRR, and left out will be 512, that is the excess reserve. Understood? Again, from that bank will give loan, and this process will continue till the time the total reserves, that is LRR, is equal to the initial deposit. Okay, then how much credit a bank will create from initial deposit just depends upon multiplier. So what is this multiplier? Let's see. Multiplier is represented by the simple K in economics, and multiplier is 1 upon legal reserve ratio, that is 1 by LRR. So how much total credit a bank will create depends upon the legal reserve ratio. So in this example, the legal reserve ratio is 20%. So it means 1 upon 20 by 100, that is 1 upon 0.2, that is equal to 5. So the multiplier is 5. So credit creation is delta D, and it is always equal to delta R into K, that is multiplier. So what is delta R? These are initial excess reserves. Here you can see the initial reserve was rupees 800. Okay, and K is the multiplier, and its value you find it as 5. So 800 into 5 is equal to 4000. Here you can see the total credit creation is 4000. So I hope that it is clear to you, and this process will continue till the time the total legal reserve ratio is equal to primary deposit, that is the initial primary deposit. Okay, so here the multiplier is 5, so that's why the total will become 1000 into 5, that is 5000. So if it is 2000, then 2000 into 5, that is 800 into 5, it's 4000. Then 200 into 5, it's 2000. And this is legal reserve ratio, remember this. And now in our example, the size of credit creation is 5 times. So you got to know that you got to know it. We got to know it by finding the value of multiplier. That is multiplier K is 1 upon LRR. It's not 1 by CRR, it's 1 by LRR. So 1 by 0.2 is equal to 5. So it means that credit is 5 times. That's why from the initial deposits of 1000, it reaches to the total deposits of 5000. Understood? Alright. So it is 5 times. That is why the total deposit is 5000. If the value of multiplier is 5, then the total deposits will be 5000. So, and the total credit creation is that is delta D is equal to K into delta R. That is 5 into 800, it's 4000. So here you can see in the example 800 into 5 is 4000. So you can understand that the multiplier, if the multiplier is 5, then it is 5 times increase. The credit creation is 5 times increase. So the total deposits will be 5000. Understood? Then if the total credit creation is delta D, that is what is delta D, total credit creation. But in order to find out the total credit creation in the economy, we have to multiplier into delta R. Understood? Delta R is the excess reserve, initial excess reserve. So 5 into 800 is 4000. So it's an extremely important question, because it's a sure 6-mark question for your exam. Understood? So I hope that you have understood how to find out multiplier and how is the credit creation by the commercial bank. So that's all for today. Thank you and have a nice day.